On today's Buckeye Roast, the AP poll is out. We'll break down where all the national teams land after week 3 and some of the chaos. We'll also check in on the Heisman odds, which Buckeyes are rising, which contenders are slipping, and who's positioning themselves early. Then it's time for our full national recap, hitting the biggest storylines from across college football. And finally, we will share our film takeaways on the offensive rewatch. What stood out? What still needs work? Who's trending up heading into the bye? I'm Chris Drew, and this is the Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q right here on Dead Air Sports.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guy QP Ski. Q, how you doing?
Going in 4K now. super clear, man. I'm good. Good week so far. How are you?
Doing well, pretty tired, but that's an everyday thing. It seems like it's a bye week, so hopefully we can get some rest here in the coming days, but the show must go on. Q, I have a number for you today.
What's the number?
2.
I don't know.
It's our second attempt at recording this show because my camera did not work. We had to restart the show. It is also 2 in the morning, so I thought it was a pretty significant number. We're over here doing double duty, so make sure you smash that like button over here because this is our second attempt to bring you the show at 2 in the morning, and I think that deserves a thumbs up if I do say so myself.
I love how these numbers can just mean anything. 1, what is that? The times my car did not start this morning as I was trying to get to work.
Don't even put that juju on me. Because if I go out and my car doesn't start, we're going to have to start a super chat goal.
Oh, man, too funny. But, yeah, man, no. So it's been a good week so far. Obviously, just with the new apartment, but I like our lights. I like our setup's looking a little better now. I know. What would you say? I look like I got kidnapped before, so not quite that bad. We're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, you used to look like Al-Qaeda Q when you used to be sitting in that corner like a hostage when you first moved into your last apartment. So I'm glad that we were able to get things up and rolling in this new place much earlier. Before we get started here, I wanted to give a big shout out to our guy, Robert Howard. He gifted 10 memberships yesterday. We had a bunch of new members join. We appreciate everybody that supports us through the membership. There's going to be some exclusive Chris Drew content coming for members only here soon. So if you want to stay up to date with all of the members content, we're going to be having a weekly recruiting live stream where we'll be watching some film together, and then that'll come out later on the channel. So if you want to hang out in the live while we watch film during our recruiting series that we're about to start in the next couple weeks, go ahead and join the members and come hang out with us for some members only content. Q, a big show today. Plenty of national topics, some film rewatch. Lots to talk about.
All right, play the song. Let's get to it.
Q, it is Tuesday. We try not to talk national topics on Monday because everybody wants to hear about the Buckeyes. It gives us some time to digest the AP poll and get our thoughts together and think about the college football weekend, and gives you a chance to catch up on highlights because we know you don't watch football on the weekends. Q, the AP poll is out. The Buckeyes are still number 1. I mean, not much to talk about. The Buckeyes deserve to stay at number 1. They win by 28. Talked about that game a ton yesterday, but when I look at this, there's no other place to start than an 0-2 team that is ranked in the top 25.
Hey man, it's still Jesus, still holding down Notre Dame at 24. Yeah, funny enough, I like watching them more than I did last season. I'm like, okay, this team, they got something, but they can't find a way to win games. So most definitely, yeah, it's kind of hard to validate that, but I mean, they're getting that little SEC bump, I guess, even though not being in there. So two tough games, two tough losses, but hey, that's part of the sport. But hey, it's good to see their fellow rival USC right next to them making the appearance top 25. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, no, not side by side. I saw someone make the point on the timeline. I mean, are there 25 teams better than Notre Dame? And I'm like,
No, I mean,
I guess fair point, but like, man, make them pay. Like they can always move back up in the pool. Knock them out. Make them suffer for a week.
The problem is their schedule doesn't allow. I mean, their schedule gets really questionable after this, so it's not really going to allow them to jump like that. I mean, I could make the case. I mean, Miami, if they are our top 5 team, I mean, I think they're playing well right now, so you can't say they're not. They're going to be up there, and then Texas A&M, they're top 10. I mean, I could say not Miami. Notre Dame could be a top 15 team on the field, but you gotta win some games first, and also the way they lost Texas A&M. It's not fun, especially at home. Say they got Texas, had to travel all the way up there. You lose that game, you deserve to move. So I think they're a top 25 team. I want to see better from them because actually I like CJ Carr. I think he's playing pretty well for his first season. I mean, he looks good. It's just they're finding ways to lose games.
Finding ways to lose games. They start off with essentially 2 top 10 matchups. If you go off the Week 4 AP poll, does this make Notre Dame think and reconsider joining a conference? Because they look like they could potentially be left out of this playoff picture as a 2-loss team.
I mean, yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think the financial benefit of not being in a conference makes sense, but that only makes sense if you're, steamrolling through the playoffs and end up in a top 4 game. I mean, if you're not going to make it, which Notre Dame, they don't have a chance at the conference championship. There's not really much to play for outside of running through the line of games and getting into the playoffs, except I guess rivalry games. So, I mean, the ACC and the Big Ten could both use Notre Dame. I mean, they really could. I mean, especially the ACC. When you look at, you got Miami being back. Let's see if they can be consistent. I mean, Florida State, we saw the last couple of years they've been inconsistent, and Clemson just falling apart. You see them notably not in the top 25. The ACC can use them bad. So, and the rest of their teams already play there for their other sports. So they could use them. The Big Ten, again, if they got Notre Dame, they're going to be pushing 200. What was the deal originally at the table a couple of years ago? It was like 150 million per school. If Notre Dame were to join, you think about it now with the expansion and how Oregon's playing. If USC stays consistent, I mean, Notre Dame added to the Big Ten, maybe with another school, you'd be pushing $200 million per school. So, I mean, that's hard to turn down. I don't care what kind of
I do not believe that. I don't believe that is the statistic at all. I think you're drastically overstating that. But I get the sentiment that Notre Dame would increase the value there. You look at Notre Dame's schedule. I mean, a ton of ACC games. They play Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford, NC State. They play Purdue, USC. But you look at this top 25 and you imagine that they're in a conference, and if they're in the SEC or the Big Ten, for example, you look at the schools in the top 25, and they're likely to add 2 more of these top 25 opportunities to their schedule if they were to have to play a Penn State and Ohio State and Oregon and Illinois, Michigan, one of these teams that would give them an opportunity to prove why they should be in the college football playoff, or, if they were in the SEC, LSU, Georgia, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Alabama, Tennessee, all opportunities to get ranked wins. Schedule just doesn't look like it's going to be favorable enough for them to find a way in. A couple other teams that I wanted to ask you about. You mentioned Clemson falling completely out of the poll. Do you think they were one of the most overrated teams? It feels like we're seeing a domino effect of teams being overrated, and like Clemson seems to be ground zero for that. I guess, virus throughout the AP poll of people being overrated because of Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly weren't a top 5 team. I mean, you look at 2 of their losses here, Georgia Tech and obviously LSU. I mean, if you believe both of those are good teams, Clemson may not be that bad, but they certainly weren't what they were propped up to be. I mean, you were talking about the ACC clear favorite, probably making a national championship run with everything that came back. I mean, they haven't looked good. And I talked about the defensive line all offseason. Clearly, that was a bad take because they're not playing that well. Kate Klubnik is not playing that well either. So, yeah, they were vastly overrated. I don't know if they're probably on that end of maybe 26 through 30 right now. I mean, I got to see how they play in ACC, and I think they're going to get some wins. But for right now, they haven't looked good. So I think it's valid to have them outside the top 25.
Yeah, another team on the outside. It's funny that we're like, you know what? Here's the AP poll, but let's talk about teams not ranked. And it's like, you look at this poll and noticeably missing South Carolina, a team that we talked about last week potentially being a little overrated. They fall out of the top 25 as well. Vanderbilt in the top 25 after beating South Carolina. I feel like the SEC is really propping itself up, beating up on each other, and I just can't wait for us to get another month into the season to really shake out, because I think by the time we hit November 1st, there will be about 6 true contenders in the sport right now, and it's just about who takes that leap in the next coming weeks.
Yeah, and now I'll throw the SEC some credit here. I mean, Tennessee 10 spots below Georgia. I have a hard time believing that, they should have won. I mean, give it a home game, but they should have won over the weekend and end up losing that game. So the fact that those schools are 10 spots apart, it's not very real. I don't know who's voting on this stuff. Like Georgia 5, Tennessee 15. Like, did you watch the game over the weekend?
Am I falling in love with the logo? But I look at the 13 teams ahead of Alabama, and I'm like, I think Alabama would beat at least half of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're not falling in love with the logo. I mean, you look at it. I mean, I would say top 10. I mean, probably. I mean, if these teams are real again, and we haven't seen it, I think the top 10 is fine. I mean, Oklahoma, Iowa State, Ole Miss. Yeah, I can see Alabama beating them, especially the way they played against Wisconsin. If they can keep up that consistency level, yeah, they certainly could. But I mean, I like them having something to prove. And being at 14, I think it makes it a little better that we're not just gifting them the spot because of the logo.
Yeah, and I feel like we're going to learn a lot in this Miami Florida game this weekend. Like, how overrated was Notre Dame? How overrated is I feel like LSU is on potential fraud alert with the way that they've looked. I can't believe that game with Florida was as close as it was. I mean, I look at this. I look at this AP poll, and it's just like, I want to get through the next 6 weeks to see what these teams look like going into November, because a lot of these teams, people have the expectation that they're going to get better, and not all of them are. Like, some of them are going to continue to be teams that we see and not figure out some of the struggles that they're dealing with now. And then you're going to have the teams that ascend and do shore up some of these things. And I feel like the landscape is going to look a lot different in about a month or so. A lot of these teams look the same, and it's sad. That's why I asked the question about Alabama, because like when I watch college football on the weekends, it's like, I don't know, man. Miami and Alabama would beat a lot of these teams, you know?
Yeah, nah, I mean, I agree, but for once, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the AV poll, but at least there's diversity in this. I mean, at least it's pretty spread out. You got conferences represented, and you have them kind of all over the place. I mean, you think about it, when is Illinois going to be ahead of Alabama, even if Alabama lost the game? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Florida State obviously beat them. I mean, Miami they hyped up Miami, but the ACC team in the top 5 holding it down, looking consistent. So at least it's spread out. They're giving everybody a chance here and let it shake out.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out. I wanted to pivot. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on in the AP poll before we moved on? I think Georgia Tech's criminally underrated right now. one of the most exciting players in college football. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but you think Georgia Tech should be a little bit higher?
Yeah, you can say that. I haven't seen Texas Tech play yet, but I have seen Utah. I mean, Utah's look really good right now. I mean, obviously Tennessee coming off the Georgia game, they've looked good. I have to see what Ole Miss and Iowa State are, but I mean, I'd say they could be a little higher right now, but again, you can't have them higher and then say Clemson's a fraud. Like it's hard to do that, so it's hard to get both. So I can see them being maybe at 15 at the highest for now, but I don't mind it because Utah's playing well. And again, I can't judge Texas Tech. I haven't seen them play yet, so we'll see what they are with the upcoming games.
I wanted to pivot to the Heisman conversation. You look at the Week 4 Heisman poll from On3, John Mateer at the top, your guy Tommy Castellanos at number 2, Carson Beck, a riser in this poll, up to number 3. Q, is the U a Heisman factory?
I mean, I guess if Carson Beck is going to remain up there after how he played last year, I mean, you have to say they're at least developing quarterbacks at a decent level. Yeah, I mean, I think Miami's played well so far. There's no reason for him not to be there. If they're going to be a top 4 team, you would have to believe that he's playing pretty well at quarterback, and his stats look good so far. So he's much improved. But yeah, it's a high quarterback race up there in the top 6. So yeah, quarterback's definitely taking over. And again, we got to get a couple defensive players in there. Who knows how long they'll last?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like them putting Ruben Bain and Caleb Downs in there week after week is them just saying they're really good. I mean, like, I don't think either one of them make it to New York, but it's like, hey, a quick nod to them. And then you look at the last name on that list. Talk about the worst luck in the world. Devin Brown loses back-to-back quarterback battles with Kyle McCord and Will Howard, and then goes to Cal, and a 5-star freshman transfers in, and it's Week 4, and this dude's in Heisman conversations.
Yeah, that's horrific luck because I mean, obviously, you look right now across the country. I mean, he's playing as well as any freshman quarterback that's playing anywhere right now. So obviously, that's just pure bad luck. But JKS, as we call him, he's been balling out. I mean, he's played well. I mean, everybody was like, Devin Brown probably not that good, especially if you can't win the job at Cal. No, they just have a dude out there that just happened to transfer in after Devin Brown did. So it's poor luck, but again, you know, things happen. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, he's absolutely playing well right now.
Are you buying the Diego Pavia hype?
No. I'm good on the Diego. I mean, he is a baller. Like, I mean, I like it. I mean, he was talking crazy in the offseason, so we'll just push that under the rug. But I mean, yeah, I mean, he's a solid baller. Heisman, I don't know about all that. We'll have to see there. But again, Vanderbilt said their goals were to win national championships. So I guess right now he's holding it down for Vanderbilt.
Did you happen to see his bet with Theo Vaughn?
I did not. What was his bet?
He said that if they won that game last week, that Theo Vaughn could take his mom on a date. And they got the win, and Theo Vaughn tried to cash in on the date there.
That's too funny. Well, I do like Theo Vaughn, so hey, his mom's single, I'm all for
it. How long until we see some offensive Buckeyes get into this conversation?
I mean, that's a good question because I mean, I get it. The offense performance wasn't that great last week in the red zone, but I mean, Ohio State's offense has been playing extremely well this season. I mean, Jeremiah Smith padding stats basically. I mean, you can't tell me within the last 2 games. I get it, Texas held the hell out of them, but you can't tell me within the last 2 games he hasn't acquired enough stats to at least crack the top 10 of the Heisman. I mean, again, Julian saying didn't play well last week, had 2 of the weirdest interceptions. I mean, one's a tip ball, the other one is threw it to the defensive lineman. But I mean, outside of those 2 plays, I mean, you know, he's padded the stats earlier this season, and the Heisman is a stats award. So I'm very surprised those guys aren't up there. I mean, Caleb Downs continues to hold it down. I mean, if Caleb Downs is doing enough right now to stay in the Heisman race, then he's going to be there all season. I mean, there's going to be no reason to kick him out because he rarely is going to have bad plays or bad games. So, I would love to see, a couple guys get in there. Definitely Jeremiah Smith being one, and then Julian saying if they have room for another.
Yeah, Julian saying at 779 yards, 8 touchdowns. I think the 3 interceptions is what's probably holding him back there. Not the most electric performance against Texas, but he does get the win there. I think in the coming weeks, you'll find him in Heisman conversations as the Buckeyes enter conference play if he's able to continue those stats and protect the ball. And then Jeremiah Smith, you also expect him to jump into that conversation. You have a couple people like at Texas A&M and Tennessee with more yards than Jeremiah right now, but you would imagine as the level of competition and the stat padding, Jeremiah does his best stat padding against Big Ten opponents when he gets to play the full game. So it'll be interesting to see as the level of competition picks up if Jeremiah is able to keep these stats up and assert himself into this conversation. No wide receivers on this list, so he'd be the first one to crack the list.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's been dominant. I mean, if you watch the games, I mean, Texas, the stats didn't look like that, but I mean, when you're getting tackled half the game, like your stats aren't going to be crazy. And obviously, he missed a shot or Julian saying missed him on a deep ball early in the game, but yeah, I mean, he's been dominant through the first 3 weeks. So if you're gonna have Reuben Bain and Caleb Downs on there, I mean, Jeremiah Smith has to have a better chance of winning the Heisman than them. So I'm very surprised he's not on there right now. But him and Ryan Williams had a good game against Wisconsin. So hopefully both of those guys can get back into that race because I would love to see a little bit of diversity. If you're gonna throw 2 defensive guys in, at least there'll be some receivers.
How much of that game did you see? Any of that game, the Wisconsin game? Did you happen to catch that Jaden Ballard touchdown?
I did. Well, I watched the full highlights, the extended highlights as they call them. So I did see the Jaden Ballard touchdown. I mean, shout out to him. Never got really much burn here at Ohio State, but nobody really gets much burn here at Ohio State unless you're starting. So I don't blame it. I think we're still having that conversation even now, but hope
even if you're starting, you might not get much burn. We'll get into that conversation a little bit later.
Get the ball.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Q,
yeah, shout out to him.
I know you only watched one game of the weekend, but what was your favorite game of the weekend as far as result or storyline or takeaways? I know you didn't watch much, but as far as just result.
I'd say that I think the second game I watched was the game of the weekend in Texas Notre Dame. I mean, it was a big time game. Definitely, I wanted the bragging rights for the northern schools against SEC, but I mean, Texas A&M went in there and got the win. I think probably it was that in the Tennessee-Georgia game that were the big ones over the weekend. But Notre Dame just disappointed me this season. I like after watching them last year, I'm like, okay, like we got another giant, up in Northern football that can possibly win a championship year in, year out with Marcus Freeman, what he's building. And honestly, watching them, I'm like, a lot of times they look good. It's just like these results they're like the team I'm watching and these results are not matching up because I felt like week 1 against Miami, towards the second half, they started to play better and dominate and look like the better team. Against Texas A&M, it was a lot of back and forth, but at points they look like a dominant team. And then you look at the scoreboard at the end and you're like, it's not. I feel like this is not matching with the team I'm watching. So that definitely was the one. But again, when we talk about this, it may not be $200 million, but they need a conference. You got to force their hand. And I don't think it's getting time where it's like this is showing why you need to join a conference because you can go either way. You can either have that benefit of getting that national championship check by yourself, or the other 4 or 5 years you're struggling to make the playoffs, especially if you're going to schedule these early season opponents. So we will see how it goes, but that was the one I was looking forward to this weekend to watch.
The pick that I'm going to go with, that Georgia Tech team is my second favorite team to watch right now. And the fact that they were able to upset Dabo Winney and put Clemson on, I mean, it's not even fraud watch. They fraud alert for the rest of college football to know that, hey, you're not getting any bump off of playing this team. Like, they stink, and everyone's going to keep beating up on them. And it's really disappointing given the preseason hype. I mean, not disappointing when you don't root for Clemson, and it's always funny to see them struggle, but it's it's odd to see a team that had such high expectations coming into the season. And it just makes you wonder what the heck's going on down there with, all the returning production on that defensive line. They bring back one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the country, and Dabo just continues this trend of ruining and destroying quarterbacks. And you see Clemson go out there and lose to Haynes King and Georgia Tech, and it's just like the ACC seems to be wide open. And when I said it was going to be a potentially 3 playoff team, I did not think Georgia Tech would be that third team, but they're still alive, and you have Miami and Florida State looking like real contenders in the sport right now. So it's going to be fun to continue to watch the ACC this season. But my game of the week was absolutely the Georgia Tech upset over Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good pick. I mean, that's one where I was like, oh, Clemson will be fine. I was wrong. I was like, it's a week 1 game. It is what it is. They are indeed not fine.
You had some Big Ten and freshman standouts that you wanted to discuss?
Yeah. So hold on. I didn't move my list. There we go. So so just a lot of shout out to the Big Ten freshmen. They're playing really well. So obviously Bo Jackson makes the freshman watch list. Obviously had a big game. Talking about Bo Jackson a lot yesterday, but Bryce Underwood bouncing back. Stat master over there in Michigan. So he played well. And then Floyd Boucard for USC. So Big Ten freshman coming through. Obviously, you had JKS from Cal and then Joshua Moore from Miami. But yeah, the Big Ten, man, doing some good recruiting. I like to see it.
Yeah, Miami really getting it done with 2 freshman receivers, Josh Moore on that watch list. And we know Malachi Tony's been going absolutely crazy. The future seems to be right. And you see JKS on that list. He could be thrown to Josh Moore next year.
yeah, Miami loves a transfer quarterback.
They do, and if Carson Beck makes it to New York as a quarterback at Miami, I mean, they have a pretty good argument for any recruiting battle in the transfer portal. Like, hey, you could transfer to Ohio State and win a national championship, or you could transfer to Miami, probably not win the ACC, but might win a Heisman.
I'll say, where Niko at?
I think that's cooked.
He'll be looking for a new home next year. I'll tell you that.
Next year, he might be looking for a new home next week.
That's too funny.
That takes us into our next topic.
Yeah, UCLA. I want to ask you this, and it may not be major, but how disappointed are you? I mean, UCLA fires their coach. How disappointed are you in UCLA? Just let's think about this here.
Real quick, you keep saying their coach. Do you know who UCLA's coach is?
I don't remember his name, but I know who he is. I really don't. You didn't remember his speech? I don't remember his name. What do you want me to do?
Deshaun Foster.
Deshaun, there you go. I know of Deshaun Foster. I remember him as a player. So, but yeah, UCLA. They're close to LA. What are they? They're in Calabasas, right? UCLA is actually in Calabasas.
All right, you're joking, right?
No, I'm just kidding. They're in what was it? No, what is it called? It's that nicer part of LA.
I have no idea. He did the press conference
at Big Ten Media Days where it says no, like because USC. I know USC is in the trenches. UCLA is in the nicer part of LA. I forget what it's called. You look it up for me. It's not Calabasas. It's
okay. Get to the point.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, prime location. They're in Cali in the good weather. They're getting paid what $50 million a year. You're telling me you can't put a better football team on the field? I mean, I get it. Chip Kelly got out of there for a reason, but it's just like this school has every resource in the world. They can't win a game in the first 3 weeks.
I mean, this is a team with this is a program with pedigree in basketball. You know, they have a rich history and they don't compete in basketball either. Like, I don't know what's going on with that athletic department. And just because there's palm trees and nice weather and Instagram models everywhere. It doesn't seem to be a prime environment, and Cali is a talent-rich state. You don't have to convince kids to go too far, but if you don't have the right coaching hire, and clearly, I mean, I don't know what was worse, Deshaun Foster's Big Ten Media Day or your geography lesson there about 3 minutes ago. So both of them equally terrible. I'm a little bit more lenient around here. I don't think I'm going to fire you for that, but I don't think his Big Ten Media Day appearance helped his cause when you go out there and you look like a bozo when you have to talk in front of everyone in the conference, and then you go out there and look like a bozo on the field. It was just time for Deshaun Foster to go. And hey, you're in the Big Ten now. You got to step it up. You're like they're making Rutgers look like a real team. Like OU has to be calling the Big Ten like, can we take UCLA spot? We almost beat Rutgers. We just beat West Virginia. And we played Ohio State close for 2 quarters. Like, I don't think if you put UCLA and Ohio on a neutral site right now, who are you taking?
I'm taking Ohio. Jesus, Niko's gonna throw Ohio the ball 3 times, especially as fundamentals they are on defense. Yeah, man, it makes no sense with the amount of money and resources that UCLA has for them to be that bad. I'm gonna figure out that name when we get to the next segment because it is the nicer part of LA. I just forget what it's called.
Well, you keep working on that. Another person, since Q's on a mission to get fired here to become a.
I'm gonna get rehired in a second. Just give me a minute.
Virginia Tech also fired their head coach, Ben Pry. An interesting one here because things are getting spooky in South Carolina. We just talked about them dropping out of the top 25. Shane Beamer, a name being floated for that Virginia Tech job. And why am I bringing that up on the Buckeye Roast? Because I sent in a group chat today that I would cut off my left foot if it would get us Dylan Stewart here. If Shane Beamer were to leave and a portal window would open for South Carolina players, and the Buckeyes would have a chance to circle back, and it would be like our Caleb Downs 2.0 experience of a massive recruit that the Buckeyes missed out on and are able to circle back because of a coaching change. Q, how exciting would it be if the Buckeyes were able to circle back and land Dylan Stewart?
I mean, I might do a double backflip.
Everybody told me, the Caleb Downs situation was once in a lifetime. That'll never happen again, where just an amazing player that the Buckeyes were in on their recruitment just loses their coach. Could it happen again this season?
Caleb Downs is a once in a lifetime situation because their coach is actually good and not bubbling.
It doesn't matter. The coach doesn't have to be good. If a star player is at a team and their coach leaves for whatever reason, whether they're the greatest of all time retiring or they're scared to get fired and run to Virginia Tech, I'll take them how I can get them. But if a 5-star comes available and the Buckeyes had a prior relationship, I feel like regardless of what the transfer portal rules are, they're going to look back to the Buckeyes. And especially when you look around the national landscape of college football, has to be a lot of families sitting down looking around like, am I sure I want to send my kid to some of these other schools? And then you look at the things that are going on at Ohio State. They're coming off a national championship. They're putting tons of people in the NFL. Ryan Day seems to have his organization running at a high level. Why would you send these kids to these floundering programs?
I mean, I don't know, but we've been dealing with this for 4 years now through NIL. I mean, clearly, you knew what you were going to get at Ohio State. I mean, if Dylan Stewart had came here, he would have national championship ring already. So, and obviously he would have played a lot last year because he probably would have been the best pass rusher on the team, despite how crazy JT and Jack went at the end of the season. Dylan Stewart did that all season in the SEC, if you were to believe they had more talent. So
the second best conference, though. So who knows how it would transfer when he has to come play in the big bad.
He might not have played well against Indiana. So, yeah. So, I mean, it would be great to have him back. I would love to have him. I mean, you think about Caden Curry and Dylan Stewart coming off the edge right now. That sounds pretty scary. So, hopefully, because we do need edge rushers, and we have missed year after year. So, hopefully, the guys we have can pick it up next season, especially after we lose a couple this year. But, yeah, I'd be more welcome. I was a big Dylan Stewart fan. We should have had him the first time around. Clearly didn't put enough effort to get him here, but hey, second time's a charm.
Second time's a charm. Q, I wanted to ask, biggest losers and biggest winners from week 3. Did you want to start positive or negative?
Let's do negative first. I always want to end on a positive note.
Alrighty. Who is your biggest loser of week 3?
I mean, I would say college football through week 3. Probably. I don't want to pick on him, man, but it's probably got to be Niko. Like, Niko has to be, after the coach is fired, like the train that has truly fallen from. If he was at Tennessee right now, obviously him and Aguilar switched, and Aguilar looks like an absolute dog right now. If he was playing like that, he'd be a first-round pick, like making $2 point something million, $3 million a year. I don't know what his deal was, but it's $8 million through 3 years. So making plenty of money, going down to be a first-round pick. In the thick of it, I think Tennessee has a true chance to make a playoff and make a run this year. I mean, like they did last year. So you look at it like, this man is in no man's land right now. Like he might. What is that secondary NFL draft that they have?
The supplemental draft.
Yeah, so he might want to go there now. Like he's trying to get an NFL this season because, like, clearly, the longer he stays at UCLA, the worse it gets. So that is my biggest loser in college football through week 3 right now.
My biggest loser in college football through week 3, I would have to disagree with the Niko one because it's looking like Niko's going to have an opportunity to enter the transfer portal and I think he already used a red shirt, so not sure how that works, but he'll be able to transfer and still have at least one more year to play. I'm sure plenty of teams will be jumping at the opportunity to grab him despite how the season went, a chance to redeem himself there, but my biggest loser is DJ Lagway. He put up a Cal McCord stinker this past weekend, 5 interceptions against LSU. I saw a meme. It was a picture of DJ Lagway, and it said, "Fuck it, LSU's down there somewhere." Just thrown it to the other team. He almost did you saw the Cal McCord and Fran Brown moment where Fran Brown has both his hands on Kyle's helmet trying to talk him down, and Billy had a similar moment with DJ Lagway, and I saw another meme that was like, "We're wearing blue, son."
Oh yeah, you're about to get me fired. That's what you're about to do.
An awful week for about to get Billy Napier fired. An awful week for the Florida Gators, DJ Lagway, and that whole program down there in Florida.
Most definitely Florida they need some work. They're not as bad as UCLA, but they need some work. So Ron, who is your biggest winner in college football through week 3?
My biggest winner through week 3 in week 3, my biggest winner is, I didn't really have one off the top of my head. I really just had, I did. I completely got lost in the thought. It is Miami and Miami fans. Each week that goes by in the college football season, they look more like a real contender, and the rest of the field outside of Ohio State looks like a fraud. So the fact that Miami continues to look better week in and week out, they go in and handle business against the UCF team that we're not sure how overrated they are. Did they beat a Boise team that was preseason rated? What does that mean? You know what I mean? And then they go out and beat this awful Florida team. So Miami looks legit. Their fans should be excited, and they are my biggest winners in week 3.
Good shout. Mine through week 3 so far has to be Oregon. I mean, Oregon looks like a really good team right now, and I think after last year, after Ryan Day really put it on them in the playoffs, it was like, wow, it's been a poor momentum off season for Oregon. Well, they've come out and said, hey, we are still here. We're still firmly in the Big Ten race, and they've looked good so far through 3 weeks. So I'd say Oregon definitely up there, and I would say, hey, like it's gonna be a heck of a game when they go to play Penn State. Like that's the one I'm really looking forward to and got circled right now.
Yeah, that seems like it's going to be one of the biggest matchups of the season.
All right. Also, I got some NIL news for you really quickly. Ross Bjork on Front Office Sports, he had an interview, and he said the arms race in college football is depending on who can build the best third-party NIL system, and that'll be the winner going forward. Ron, talked a lot about recruiting. We've heard a lot of different things from Ohio State as far as the NIL board. All right, where's my question? Third-party system, is that outside of your development or is it inside? Because we saw what happened when you pulled the NIL inside. So it seems like now they're pushing it back. Is that mean they're pushing it back outside of the school and getting rid of the rules? Because I have about this.
I have no idea. They need to get Marcus Houston that duffel bag that he had and filled out with cash and walk to South Carolina for Dylan Stewart. These NIL conversations, I've had enough. I don't care what the rules are. Go spend a bag. Like, they told us they're not going to do that, but like, when it comes to Ross Bjork, on this NIL conversation, unless it's him telling me that like they're giving out duffel bags of cash or like they just bought a stockpile of McDonald's bags to hand out cash on recruits, save it, bro. Good. We're playing football right now. I don't want to hear about money unless it's in the form of stacks of cash for recruits.
Well, at least he knows, one, there's an arm race. And two, a third-party system sounds like he's pushing it back out and letting the NIL do what it did when we obviously were able
when
to
he
pull
says
out.
When he says third-party NIL, I think he's talking about who can convince other businesses to pay their NIL for them. I think that's what he's saying, but I'm not familiar with the story. I haven't read too much in it. That's just my assumption. Let us know in the comments if neither one of us know what the hell we're talking about, but my assumption is that he's referring to the idea of actual real name, image, and likeness and actually landing deals from people outside of Ohio State to pay for these brand deals. That would just be my assumption. Q, the title of the show, the thumbnail, they all refer to the film. Had an opportunity to watch the All 22 and Q. I have to say the film doesn't lie, but the timeline does. You know, I am an SFE propagandist around here. I make I don't try to hide it in any way, shape, or form. And when I look on the timeline and I see all this Brandon Ennis slander, it hurts my heart because, you know, I'm a big believer in my guy BI. And all the talk was 0 catches. I don't think he had a single target in the game. And everybody's just like, get him off the field. He's the worst. Don't play him. So I shoot Chris a text and I'm like, hey, when Zach does the film watch, can you make sure he keeps an eye on Brandon Ennis to see what's going on here? I had an opportunity to watch the All 22 film. Film don't lie. There ain't nothing wrong with Brandon Ennis out there. You talked about Julian not saying things well in the red zone. He missed Brandon Ennis for 2 wide open touchdowns on the film rewatch. And the main reason why you didn't see Brandon Ennis in this last game was there was a ton of 12 and 13 personnel. And like the way that they were switching up their personnel packages, there were times where they were out there in 11 personnel, but they had tight ends in the receiver positions. Like, there's so many different personnel packages that you saw from them on the 2 big explosive plays, the Jeremiah and the Carnell Tate touchdowns. The reason why those plays were open was because the defense was in zone coverage and the free safety collapsed on Brandon Ennis going across the middle and left one-on-one coverage over the top. And the Buckeyes were able to beat Ohio over the top there. There was multiple times where a lot of zone coverage from Ohio, and they decided to take away Brandon Ennis, and you saw Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith both be able to take advantage of it. I mean, the biggest criticism you could probably have of Brandon Ennis is maybe 1 or 2 missed blocks the entire game, but overall, a lot of tight end usage, a lot of 12 and 13 packages, a lot of zone coverages, choosing to take Brandon Ennis away and leaving other guys open. So I think depending on the scheme and as Julian starts to see the field better, you're going to see Brandon Ennis get involved more. I just think it's just very unfair criticism to blame him as if he's out there doing something that if you were to replace him, someone was going to come in and add some sort of yardage or production. If you watch that game, it's not like there was any yards left on the field by Brandon Ennis.
I mean, yeah, you if you just think about it logically, it's hard for me to believe that in a game against Ohio where their best attributes at corner are going to Jeremiah Smith and Cardell Tate, that Brandon Ennis couldn't get open one time to get a target. Like, it would be impossible to believe that he's truly that bad. And clearly on the film, it tells you different. Yeah, Julian Sand really didn't see him. Again, we know he's great at separation. That short area quickness that he has allows him to get separation and get open. And then obviously you can see that on all 22, which you can't. So it didn't matter who, and everybody says, oh, put Mylan Graham, put Bryson Rogers, put
Mylan Graham, and not someone who doesn't play slot wide receiver.
Yeah, as well. It doesn't matter who you put in there. That person's going to have to be good enough for you to look away from Jeremiah Smith. And if Jeremiah Smith is one-on-one, you're not going to look away from Jeremiah Smith no matter who the corner is. So it's just like he's not going to get that. You're not going to get down to that read most of the time. You're looking at Cardell Tate and Jeremiah Smith against Ohio. 99% of the time, they're not double. They're open. Like, sometimes they're not triple. They're open. So that's just the name of the game. I think we did feature the tight ends a lot. Now, I think the question is, at Ohio State, do they believe the tight end room as a group is better in the pass game than the wide receiver room as a group? I don't believe that, but it seems like the way they're prioritizing tight ends in the pass game, you look at the targets, I mean, they're getting a ton of targets. So, I mean, I think BI, and again, I believe the other guys should also have some burn and play, should be getting more targets, but definitely Brandon Ennis has to get involved in the game because you're going to need him. You're going to need him down the line. You can't have a game where he has no targets. I don't care who you're playing.
I don't think, I disagree there. I mean, I think as long as the defense, as long as Julian's taken with the defense, gives them, you missed them on those two plays. But for the most part, I mean, Julian's still 78% completion percentage on one of the plays that he missed. BI, he still ends up throwing a touchdown to Max Clare on the backside of the ball. So it's just like, there's only one ball to go around, and I feel like it's just unfair criticism. We've watched wide receivers in the past not get the ball here at Ohio State, and it's not because that they can't perform. It's because there's so many mouths to feed on this offense. I think Brandon Ennis will have his opportunities throughout the season, and I just think the criticism of him on the timeline is unfair just because people are obsessed with seeing a potentially faster receiver out there other than Ennis. I feel like that's everyone's biggest beef, that they feel like there's other guys that are more explosive, but he's out there for a reason. I wanted to pivot to Brian Hartline, also on the cover. You mentioned yesterday that you didn't think that Brian Hartline's play calling was the issue. You thought it was more of an execution issue on the Buckeye standpoint, one from Julian seeing the field, and two, just general missteps, whether that be blocking or just lack of execution of the plays. And I think you hit the nail on the head, and having not even watched the all 22 yesterday, that was the first thing that I wrote in the notes after rewatching the game. It says Q is right in the note, because you called that yesterday during the show, and I really hadn't given consideration. I just saw the lunatic fringe, criticizing Brian Hartline, the play caller, and then you rewatch it on all 22, and the plays are called correctly, and you see a couple things that Ohio State, or not Ohio State, that Ohio did on the defensive front, and a few shifts last minute, a couple twists that they didn't pick up well. But overall, if the Buckeyes are able to block in the red zone, I feel like as they clean up some of these things, and Julian saying is a little bit more patient. One of the misses to Brandon was because pressure got in his face a little early, and he abandoned that side of the play and ends up finding Max Clare on the other side. I just think it feels so reminiscent of last year when we would watch these all 22 things, and it's like, I mean, I see the mistakes, and these are all correctable things that we watch the Buckeyes eventually get right on the offensive line by the end of the season. I think as you see more Bo Jackson in the red zone, mixed in with CJ Donaldson. I think that'll be exciting. I think Lincoln Kienholz can add an element to this red zone offense. Overall, I came away from the game more encouraged than I expected, because it felt during the game that it was just it felt like it's one of those Ohio State spoiled watches where you expect the game to go perfect and it doesn't necessarily. While it's still a dominant performance, it just didn't look as pretty as you expected. But on rewatch, I felt like it looked a lot better. And I mean, the ball placement ability by Julian Sane still just jumps off the screen, and it's just going to be exciting to watch this team get better. And I feel like a lot of fans are not a lot of fans. You saw fans get frustrated with things during that game, myself included, but I think it's going to be one of the most enjoyable parts of watching this Buckeye team this year is enjoying the process, because there's so many young players. There's so many new moving parts in this team that we're going to get to watch this extremely talented team get a lot better over the course of the year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good to hear. I guess that's my second good take. I finally had a good take.
But you have to let the audience in on the comment, because I love my favorite thing throughout the day while I'm at work is to read the comments on the YouTube and either send them to Chris or Q, because they're always criticizing someone on the channel, and Q caught an absolute stray the other day.
Oh my goodness, that's okay. Well, I'll take that one. We'll brush. UCLA is in Westwood, so we'll brush the Calabasas one. That's what I meant to say. I knew what I was talking about. I just couldn't get it right.
You spent the whole episode trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I was like, bro, I know.
Like, I'm gonna redeem myself.
I know it's one of these nice spots in LA, but anyway, moving on. No, I mean, I think Brian Hartline, and I mean, we can have a little bit of that conversation. I feel like he's been better than what I thought he was going to be as an offensive play caller. I mean, you saw the difference week 1 against Texas. Ryan Day called the plays. It was very safe. It felt like, we're kind of back to this, like, slow moving.
Brian Hartline called the plays week 1.
You sure? 100% sure?
Positive.
Okay. Well, week 1 looked a lot different than week 2 and week 3, and maybe that's the opponent, but it feels like the offense has opened up. So, yeah, I mean, it felt like a more of a Ryan Day call the first week, I guess, but they prepared for it, and now maybe he just let Brian Hartline go and go as far as he wants to now. So the play calling has gotten a lot better. Now, will that stay consistent in the weeks coming forward? I mean, we got Washington coming up, and obviously then we really having a Big Ten opponents with some really good defenses we have to play. So really interested to see Brian Hartline, what he does against them. But right now, the balance, again, it felt like pass happy, but when you look at the chart, you're like, no, we're running the ball. And we're doing it pretty well, especially when Bo Jackson's in the game. So it's felt balanced. I mean, obviously, he's like, we're not going to have a game. We're not getting Jeremiah Smith at least 5, 6, 7, 8 targets, and we're going to feature Carnell Tate, which we called for week 2. We're like, Carnell Tate has to get the ball, so he's getting the ball now. Now we're calling for Ennis, so he's working his way down the line. He's getting his playmakers involved, and I really like where this play calling is going.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's pass happy because the so many explosive plays, and we're getting so many chunk plays through the air. But for the most part, it has been a pretty balanced attack. One of my other takeaways from the film was, I mean, I've been critical of the running backs. I've been banging the Bo Jackson drum here for weeks now, and on rewatch, I thought it was James Peoples' best game in a Buckeye uniform, so that was good to see. It wasn't it still doesn't look the same as Bo, but it's definitely better than what we saw in the first 2 weeks, and to see him look a little bit more shifty and hit the holes a little bit harder this week was good to see. CJ Donaldson continues to bring the tough running, and I think that's going to be big for the Buckeyes in the red zone coming down the stretch as they get to the end of the year in conference play, and then ultimately in the college football playoffs. I think CJ Donaldson will be a huge part of the running game. So just to see all 3 backs have solid performances on Saturday was good to see, and that was one of the other things that seemed to not even jump off the film, but seemed to stand out on rewatch. Probably take a look at the defensive side of the ball tomorrow, but only got to watch the offense today before the show.
Yeah. Again, well, I think you said it. With so much to improve on going down, and I mean, obviously, we got the game in Washington coming up, but with so much to improve on, and as good as we look through 3 weeks, I mean, you've got to be giddy about how good this team can be, especially later in the season. And again, you don't want to peak too early. I mean, it's good to have a little bit of a struggle against Texas. It's good to have a little bit of struggle against Ohio and really have things to work on and not say, hey, we're on top of the world right now, because you can't. There's nothing to win in week 3 of college football. There's nothing to win in week 5. Like, you really, I mean, obviously stay in the Big Ten race, but you're really working your way down to really performing. I mean, it's been a while since we had a Big Ten championship, so definitely need to stay consistent and continue to up our play level and get back to Indiana. And then, again, it'll be the playoffs moving forward. So right now, doing everything we need to do, got a bye week, you embrace it, get better, and then go to Washington, and you'll see, like, okay, Washington's a little step up of an opponent. It's a Big Ten team. They're decent. Let's see what happens. So I'm excited to see where his team is going right now. In the end, defense has been lights out, so it's hard to really complain. You're really pulling straws on how much you can really complain about the defense right now.
Yeah, we'll get into the defense tomorrow after we get an opportunity to watch the All-22 on the defensive side of the ball. But things have to be exciting going into the bye week for Buckeye fans. You know, they knock off the former number one team in the country. Week 1, they handle business 70-0 in week 2. They get a 28-point win in week 3. They go into the bye week with tons to work on while also still looking fairly dominant as the number one team in the country. Q, we have a defensive show tomorrow, and we will talk some more national things, preview a little bit of week 4 in college football while the Buckeyes are on the bye. And then we have a fun 2 episodes lined up for the end of the week. We are going to do some recruiting. Where are they now episode for the 2023 recruiting class. So that'll be a fun look ahead, and that'll be a kickoff of our members only recruiting program that will be starting next week. We'll be watching some film of the top recruits in the country, and then putting out rankings eventually for National Signing Day. We'll be doing those live starting next week, and then we'll put those out to everybody the following day. But if you want to watch those, if you want to hang out with us and watch some film live, join our members around here. We're going to have a ton of members exclusive content. Chris Drew is going to be doing some members only live streams each week over here on Dead Air Sports, as well as our recruiting watch party. So feel free to, well, it's not free, but make sure you join the members over here at Dead Air Sports for an additional exclusive content if you enjoy hanging out with us here. We appreciate everybody who supports us at Dead Air Sports and watches over here at the Buckeye Roast. Q, let the people know where they can find you.
Well, members may not be free, but the like button is free. So make sure you click that and go ahead and hit that in there. Appreciate everybody rocking with us on this episode. Again, don't forget, hit the comments. Love answering and talk about them and who's getting the criticism tomorrow. It might be me again. Like, Calabasas.
I don't even look for compliments. I feel like a compliment is like a clean day where no one calls me an idiot in the comments.
Calabasas. UCLA is located here. All right, my bad, y'all. But yeah, man, if you want to find me, City Boy Quinn on Twitter, Fly to Johnson on Instagram, here at Dead Air Sports Monday through Friday.
If they want to send you a map, where can they mail that to?
Yeah.
You have a P.O. box?
Yeah. deadairsports@gmail.com.
That is actually
send to Chris. Chris will get it to me. So make sure you do that. But yeah, like that video. Again, trying to grow around here. So we got some new subscribers in here. I read the comments, so some new people coming over here. Make sure there's other people out there that need a good morning show to get their day started. Make sure you let them know where to find us. We greatly appreciate it. Appreciate all the members as well, and all the usual suspects. Like seeing y'all. Looking forward to see you in the comments. So we'll do that. Like that video. Ron, where can they find you at?
Yeah, they can find me. I'm normally in the live chat. I missed the live chat yesterday. I am sorry about that. When we're recording this late, it's 3:20 in the morning.
You had to sleep.
I can't.
Where are you going?
Get up.
Sleeping?
Yeah, I can't get up at 8 to talk to everybody in the live chat because I actually have to sleep so I can actually get to work in the morning. But I will do my best to start making it to the live chats in the morning. We appreciate everybody that hangs out there in the mornings. We appreciate all the new members, all the new subscribers, all the people that like that video. A little low on the likes yesterday. I was thinking about we might have to change Q's name around here, and I would hate to have to do that
your name
again. So
your
make
name
sure, yeah, make sure you smash that like button around here. It helps us a ton. You can catch us here Monday through Fridays for the Buckeye Roast with me and Q talking all things Buckeyes Monday through Friday. You can catch I-71 right here on the Dead Air Sports channel. Tons of content from Chris and Tyler. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's at 2Ts. It's 2_TES. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and you guys know how this thing ends. It's always go Bucks, and of course, OH.
Ayo.
On today,
example, when things get hard in life, you just keep swinging as hard as you can. You fight. That's our culture.
I promised you we had a plan. Remember that we talked about a plan? The plan was infallible. Part of that infallible plan is getting a team prepared, ready to go, so we start practice. Our coaches know what we got. And there's not one person in America I trusted more than Coach Mick and that staff. Think about this. 130 teams either today they report or they've already reported. 130. 16 weeks from now, there's going to be one champion. One champion in our conference, one champion on the side of our conference. And in the country, one team's going to do this. Not 36, not 48, not 44. One. That tells you how hard it is to be a champion. To do right all the time. To know your assignments. To have 11 guys play hard on every staff. That's hard. That's why there's one. I want a hungry team. I want a hungry team. I want a team that can't wait to get out there. So there's a bunch of players that maybe, whenever you're a new coaching staff, you haven't played much, maybe you're trying to make a name for yourself, you're a hungry football player. I want a hungry team. And last one, most importantly, I've got to coach a few of them. I want an angry team. I want a pissed off football team. I want a team that has a little chip on their shoulder. Maybe something's been taken from you. Maybe something hasn't. Maybe something's been taken from you. Are you a team that's going to go get it?